Empty bottles asterisk 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 empty bottles frontispiece empty bottles by Raymond S. Spears. What use had any 6-foot man for an empty 1-quart bottle? A rather large, awkward man shambled into the one-way-through saloon, sidled over to the bar and addressed Cockeye Barra, the mixer. His voice was so low that Cockeye leaned to hear and then asked for repetition of the nearly voiceless words. "I want a bottle," the man blurted out. "Oh, yeah." The bartender grinned fatly. "The question now is, gent, how big a bottle?" "A quart." "A man's size, and now what liquor you have in it?" The familiar patrons were listening. The visitor was plainly modest, at least before beginning his drinks, but in buying by the bottleful he would obtain more liquor for much less money. And there was a certain aspect which indicated that the visitor was not quite familiar with the lingo or the customs of this business place. He had asked for a bottle, not for a quart of liquor. He was a long time coming to the point, too. "Why, if you please, I don't want no liquor, I want an empty bottle." "An empty bottle?" "Yes, sir," the awkward fellow said, deprecatingly. "I want it clean, you know, no whiskey or anything, as though whiskey ever soiled the insides of a bottle," someone exclaimed sorrowfully. "Go in back." The bartender lifted his flat nose. "Lots of bottles out there." The man went through into the yard. He returned, smelling alternately of 2 flat quart bottles, one white, the other brown. They smelled of whiskey and he rinsed them many times, finally taking the white one with him down the street. The saloon crowd watched him take his departure. "What do ye make of him?" one asked snortily. "What he needs is a nipple to go on that bottle." Cockeye grinned. The laughter of the listeners was loud, prolonged, and terminated by a serious round of drinks. Cockeye was always good that way. He talked brightly and smartly. After several had bought, the bartender served a drink on the house. And then a man came in the front door. The boys gathered around him, made sure he had a drink, and then all of them told him what Cockeye had said when a fellow took an empty bottle out the front door, instead of a full one. It was awfully funny, but Cockeye had to elucidate his wit himself, because none of the explainers had exactly the lingo and tang with which to tell the story. The following afternoon along Butt Street, Cockeye, who was off for the day, saw the awkward fellow coming down the side of the square, shambling. The bartender grinned reminiscently so that the stranger angled over and addressed him. "I don't know if I thanked ye for that bottle," the man said. "I had to have it for a baby a lady had down to the camp. You see, you fill it full of pretty middlin' warm water, and when the kid has the stomach ache you put the bottle on the stomach, which warms it. Course you wrap it in rags." "Quite an idea." Cockeye approved. "Th's all right. But why'd you want it clean for that?" "I didn't know they was going to put warm water in it. I thought it was for feedin' or something." "Tain't your lady had the baby?" "No, sir, tain't. There's a sickly fella there, the husband, I expect. An old woman come over to my wagon about a bottle. So I come up and got it. I'm just looking around myself. Cockeye went on his way. He rolled in his mind this new opportunity. By the time night had come and he was in his white apron behind the bar, he was ready for the boys to come in, which they did in due course. Say, he said, 'member that fella come in last night to get a bottle, empty? Well, I met him up the street today. He did want it for a baby. There's a lady had a kid down to the strollers camp and an old woman sent him for it, so's they could put warm water into it, to warm the baby's stomach when it ached. Say, ain't that funny? You did hit it, didn't you, Cockeye? You jays knowed it was for a baby, huh? Water, too. Say, THA's funny, ain't it? Cockeye spots a fella wants an empty bottle for a baby. What'd he want a clean bottle for, anyhow? He didn't know 't was for a warmer. He thought it was to feed the kid out of. Old woman sent him for it. He come here. THA's funny. Come here for an empty bottle, one of the boys laughed. Let's have a drink. Around the square in Box Elder the boys told about Cockeye, the empty bottle and the stroller down at the campground, where there was a lady had a baby. The stranger again came uptown and shambled to the Emporium, went to the post office and headed down the creek to the camp, his arms carrying packages. He was pointed out, and people laughed. He was the fellow who asked Cockeye for an empty bottle. That was funny. He wanted it to put on a baby's stomach, too. Who are you? The city marshal, Pete Cadder, softened his insult to the stranger by adding, if it's any of my business. Why, my name's Frank Hesburn, the man answered readily enough. I'm kind of looking around for a new country to settle in. Understand you got a baby with the stomach ache. Me? Oh, my, no. Tiny my baby. I never did get to marry. It's a lady's. She's camped on the flat. The man he's sickly. The old lady asked me to get an empty flat bottle to put on the kid's stomach, THA's all. I see, Cadder nodded, that's funny. What? Hesburn's grey eyes squinted. The baby was crying, sir. They wanted to put warm water on its stomach, count of the ache. The city marshal laughed and strolled on while Hesburn watched him wonderingly. Thereafter in the days that followed, sometimes one, sometimes 5 or 6 inquirers would speak to the stroller, asking him about the empty bottle. After listening to the explanation they would say, that's funny. Then they would go on their way, leaving the awkward stranger puzzled more and more. One day Cockeye, waddling on his short legs and with his rotund stomach protruding, was again strolling around the square in the afternoon. It chanced that he met Hesburn, who greeted him. Say, Mr. the stroller asked, what's there funny about me getting an empty bottle? Cockeye bristled angrily. Who you talking to? He demanded. Hesburn's grey eyes looked wonderingly into the man's face, steady, narrowing and losing their sparkle in an odd, moon-colored opacity. 10-12 fellas told me you said it was funny, Hesburn answered quietly. I want to know why. Cockeye's face swelled a blotchy white, red and purple. What's it to ye? Cockeye cried, his voice rising from a growl into a shrill hawk-like shriek, which attracted attention far and wide. I got that empty bottle for a baby with the stomachache, Hesburn declared. An old woman asked me to, so's they could put it on the kid, account of the lady what had it being in bed, and her man sickly. I don't see nothing funny in a baby having the stomachache. I don't care a damn if you do or not. Cockeye snarled. Aha! Hesburn grunted, going on his way with 2 store bundles under his arm. Hey, you! Cockeye called after him. I want to know what's aching you 'bout me. Anyhow, you mind your own business 'bout me. Hesburn turned to gaze at the short, thick, angry man. Course, Hesburn answered presently, I mind my own business. I always do, mister. I've been hearin' some talk, thas all. I don't care what ye hear. Cockeye growled into a shriek. Thas what I thought, Hesburn said shortly, and the bartender's lower jaw dropped. That night, instead of just a few of the boys coming into the one-way through saloon, the place was crowded. About everyone had come out. Cockeye Barra, with flat face and glowering eyes, served the drinks, very tart in his few words. Hear that stroller insulted you, Cockeye? A newcomer inquired. What'd he say? Why, he asked me what's funny about that empty bottle. I told him to mind his own business, bellyaching around. I stood right up to him and told him I didn't care what he thought. And, by good, he said he didn't care what I thought. I'm gettin' sick of him standing up to me thataway. I don't have to take anything from him, I don't. Thas right, Cockeye, the listeners exclaimed. Don'tcha let him bluff you a dad blamed inch, no sir. Don't worry 'bout me. Cockeye snorted. He won't be the first man I've handled. Thas so, Cockeye, approved City Marshal Kader, who had dropped in for a warm. That fella's got a bad eye. I could see when I talked to him. I'll look, Marshal. Trust me. Cockeye allowed himself to grin a bit. All I want's you to testify to that to the inquest. You bet, old boy. Kader shook his head. I got an eye on him myself. You see he's thinking something, the way he steps off. Saturday night in Box Elder was an occasion boisterous and full of life. Music from crowded dance halls, whoops from exuberant men, the rustling of an active throng filled the community around Courthouse Square with jubilee. Just after 10 o'clock, when an unusual throng had come in, due to cattle-droving exigencies, with nesters, homesteaders and badland scatterers all at hand, an agile little fellow with a face pointed like a rat's, dashed into the one-way through saloon and, stooping low, hissed to Cockeybarra for attention. I say, Cockeye, he whispered. Come here. What's it? Cockeye leaned to listen. IJ's seen that stroller Hesburn going into the Claybank Delight Saloon. My lan. He looked hateful. Liquorin up. Yeah, he bought a big bottle, 2 quart. I seen it. Much obliged, Skinny Cockeye said. I'll remember that. I don't forget favors. Cockeye ran his hand under the bar, where he had a long-barreled .45 revolver, and made sure that there were loads in it. A minute later another man came in, leaning over and whispering to the bartender, Look out, Cockeye. That stroller bought 2 quarts to the Claybank. All right, Sam. I'm ready. Then 2 men came in from the alley, hurrying. Say, that fella Hesburn bought 2 quarts down to the Claybank, Summers. We seen him emptyin' it out back Jay's now. Pretendin' to liquor up, eh? Cockeye grimaced. An' keeping steady, eh, ha? That's so. An odd whisper ran around, someone saying, better get set, Cockeye. The bartender swallowed obviously, his beady little eyes rolling in their fat sockets. He took a couple of slugs himself. He needed a bracer. He was a humorist, not a fighting man. At the same time he wasn't deficient when it came to a showdown. He'd bashed in a man's skull, served as a bouncer innumerable times, and had come clear on the charge of shooting Dingo Washington in self-defense. He wouldn't back down in face of necessity. He hung up his apron, and the proprietor of the one-way through quietly took the bartender's place, spelling him. Grimly, looking neither to right nor left, Cockeybarra sallied forth into the darkness of the alleys. No one followed him. Men sauntered casually out into the gloom and stood, listening. Then they heard 2 shots, almost together, but none could tell by the echoes from blank walls and badland bluffs just whence came the sounds. In a few minutes the one-way through saloon was crowded to overflowing, everyone waiting expectantly. Cockeybarra did not return in 10 minutes, nor in half an hour. In an hour or 2 men went scouting cautiously around in the alleys. But it was dawn before anyone learned anything of importance. Then on the short-cut path down to the strollers' campground City Marshal Pete Cadder found Cockeye lying dead with a bullet buried in his thick chest, driven in the direction of his heart. In Cockeye's hand, held in rigor mortis, was his heavy revolver, with 1 bullet gone from its cylinder. Doggone. I knowed that Hesburn's bad. Cadder gasped. I'll go down to find him, if I can. He hurried to the strollers' campground, where the strangers usually stopped. He saw Hesburn's wagon and his 2 heavy draft horses staked in the grass on the creek bottom, but Hesburn's saddle horse, a beauty, was nowhere in sight. The city marshal went over to the outfit where the strangers had been delayed by a baby and by the sickness of a man. Where's Hesburn? The city marshal demanded of the weak but convalescent man. Why, Marshal, the man shook his head, I don't know. Last night my wife's mother broke a bottle we had to put on the baby's stomach to keep it warm, and Mr. Hesburn went uptown to get another. My wife figured a 2-quart ND be better, and so he brought one back, a big N. He seemed kinda excited, nervous, swearing to himself. Same time he didn't say anything, exceptin' he kissed the baby. My lan. He sure favored we NS. I don't know what we'd done, me sickly, my wife took bad in that new baby, thout him. Him never married, too, and he saddled his horse to ride away down the branch. He asked if we'd get along right, for he went. Course, I see NGIT around, now. He left this order to look after his outfit, account of him getting important news. City Marshal Kada returned to Box Elder Courthouse Square. He told the sheriff, coroner and prosecutor what he knew. They had a jury sit over Cockeye Barris' remains, and they rather sidestepped the question of who, why and whence the killing. That night in the one-way through saloon the boys gathered sorrowfully along the bar, staring at Cockeye's apron, spotted, large and limp, hanging right where Cockeye himself had hung it, just the other night. Poor Cockeye. City Marshal Kada shook his head. We're going to miss that boy, yes, indeedy. That's so, don't seem possible, does it? Another shook his head. My lan, he was funny, too, the way he talked, another sighed. I tell you, he was awfully bright, that old boy. Yeah. 'Member that one he got off the night Frank Hesburn come in? Hesburn, he wanted an empty bottle, and Cockeye he said afterwards what Hesburn needed was a nipple onto it. Yes, sir, that's what he said. My golly, but the way he said it was comical. No sir. Long's I live I'll never forget it. Well, boys. Let's drink to Cockeye Barra, the proprietor said. It's on the house. Bright of tongue, everybody's friend, always all there, big-hearted and square-dealing. He could crack a joke and handle a situation. A man's man, old Cockeye. He lived on the level and he died in his boots. Here's how, old boy. May you rest easy where you lie tonight. It's a deep sleep you're in. Here's hoping you'll awaken with a smile on your lips and a joke on your tongue. Doggone, somebody choked. I can't believe Cockeye's dead. It don't seem possible. Transcriber's note. This story appeared in the 1st of July 1928 issue of Adventure magazine. Asterisk 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 end of the Project Gutenberg ebook Empty Bottles asterisk 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 updated editions will replace the previous one, the old editions will be renamed. Creating the works from print editions not protected by U.S. copyright law means that no one owns a United States copyright in these works, so the Foundation, and you, can copy and distribute it in the United States without permission and without paying copyright royalties. Special rules set forth in the general terms of use part of this license, apply to copying and distributing Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works to protect the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol concept and trademark. Project Gutenberg is a registered trademark, and may not be used if you charge for an ebook, except by following the terms of the trademark license, including paying royalties for use of the Project Gutenberg trademark. If you do not charge anything for copies of this ebook, complying with the trademark license is very easy. You may use this ebook for nearly any purpose, such as creation of derivative works, reports, performances and research. Project Gutenberg ebooks may be modified and printed and given away. You may do practically anything in the United States with ebooks not protected by U.S. copyright law. Redistribution is subject to the trademark license, especially commercial redistribution. Start. Full license. The full Project Gutenberg license. Please read this before you distribute or use this work to protect the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol mission of promoting the free distribution of electronic works. By using or distributing this work, or any other work associated in any way with the phrase Project Gutenberg, you agree to comply with all the terms of the full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license available with this file or online at www.gutenberg.org/license. Section 1. General Terms of Use and Redistributing Project Gutenberg Trademark Symbol Electronic Works 1.0. By reading or using any part of this Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work, you indicate that you have read, understand, agree to and accept all the terms of this license and intellectual property, trademark/copyright, agreement. If you do not agree to abide by all the terms of this agreement, you must cease using and return or destroy all copies of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works in your possession. If you paid a fee for obtaining a copy of or access to a Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work and you do not agree to be bound by the terms of this agreement, you may obtain a refund from the person or entity to whom you paid the fee as set forth in paragraph 1.e.8. 1.b. Project Gutenberg is a registered trademark. It may only be used on or associated in any way with an electronic work by people who agree to be bound by the terms of this agreement. There are a few things that you can do with most Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works even without complying with the full terms of this agreement. See paragraph 1.c below. There are a lot of things you can do with Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works if you follow the terms of this agreement and help preserve free future access to Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works. See paragraph 1.e below. 1.c. The Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation, the Foundation or PGLAF, owns a compilation copyright in the collection of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works. Nearly all the individual works in the collection are in the public domain in the United States. If an individual work is unprotected by copyright law in the United States and you are located in the United States, we do not claim a right to prevent you from copying, distributing, performing, displaying or creating derivative works based on the work as long as all references to Project Gutenberg are removed. Of course, we hope that you will support the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol mission of promoting free access to electronic works by freely sharing Project Gutenberg trademark symbol works in compliance with the terms of this agreement for keeping the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol name associated with the work. You can easily comply with the terms of this agreement by keeping this work in the same format with its attached full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license when you share it without charge with others. 1.d. The copyright laws of the place where you are located also govern what you can do with this work. Copyright laws in most countries are in a constant state of change. If you are outside the United States, check the laws of your country in addition to the terms of this agreement before downloading, copying, displaying, performing, distributing or creating derivative works based on this work or any other Project Gutenberg trademark symbol work. The Foundation makes no representations concerning the copyright status of any work in any country other than the United States. 1.e Unless you have removed all references to Project Gutenberg, 1.e.1. The following sentence, with active links to, or other immediate access to, the full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license must appear prominently whenever any copy of a Project Gutenberg trademark symbol work, any work on which the phrase Project Gutenberg appears, or with which the phrase Project Gutenberg is associated, is accessed, displayed, performed, viewed, copied or distributed. This ebook is for the use of anyone anywhere in the United States and most other parts of the world at no cost and with almost no restrictions whatsoever. You may copy it, give it away or reuse it under the terms of the Project Gutenberg license included with this ebook or online at www.gutenberg.org. If you are not located in the United States, you will have to check the laws of the country where you are located before using this ebook. 1.e.2. If an individual Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work is derived from texts not protected by U.S. copyright law, does not contain a notice indicating that it is posted with permission of the copyright holder, the work can be copied and distributed to anyone in the United States without paying any fees or charges. If you are redistributing or providing access to a work with the phrase Project Gutenberg associated with or appearing on the work, you must comply either with the requirements of paragraphs 1.e.1 through 1.e.7 or obtain permission for the use of the work and the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol trademark as set forth in paragraphs 1.e.8 or 1.e.9. 1.e.3. If an individual Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work is posted with the permission of the copyright holder, your use and distribution must comply with both paragraphs 1.e.1 through 1.e.7 and any additional terms imposed by the copyright holder. Additional terms will be linked to the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license for all works posted with the permission of the copyright holder found at the beginning of this work. 1.e.4. Do not unlink or detach or remove the full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license terms from this work, or any files containing a part of this work or any other work associated with Project Gutenberg trademark symbol. 1.e.5. Do not copy, display, perform, distribute or redistribute this electronic work, or any part of this electronic work, without prominently displaying the sentence set forth in paragraph 1.e.1 with active links or immediate access to the full terms of the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license. 1.e.6. You may convert to and distribute this work in any binary, compressed, marked up, non-proprietary or proprietary form, including any word processing or hypertext form. However, if you provide access to or distribute copies of a Project Gutenberg trademark symbol work in a format other than plain vanilla ASCII or other format used in the official version posted on the official Project Gutenberg trademark symbol website, www.gutenberg.org, you must, at no additional cost, fee or expense to the user, provide a copy, a means of exporting a copy, or a means of obtaining a copy upon request, of the work in its original plain vanilla ASCII or other form. Any alternate format must include the full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license as specified in paragraph 1.e.1. 1.e.7. Do not charge a fee for access to, viewing, displaying, performing, copying or distributing any Project Gutenberg trademark symbol works unless you comply with paragraph 1.e.8 or 1.e.9. 1.e.8. You may charge a reasonable fee for copies of or providing access to or distributing Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works provided that you pay a royalty fee of 20% of the gross profits you derive from the use of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol works calculated using the method you already use to calculate your applicable taxes. The fee is owed to the owner of the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol trademark, but he has agreed to donate royalties under this paragraph to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation. Royalty payments must be paid within 60 days following each date on which you prepare, or are legally required to prepare, your periodic tax returns. Royalty payments should be clearly marked as such and sent to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation at the address specified in Section 4, Information about donations to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation. You provide a full refund of any money paid by a user who notifies you in writing, or by email, within 30 days of receipt that he does not agree to the terms of the full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license. You must require such a user to return or destroy all copies of the works possessed in a physical medium and discontinue all use of and all access to other copies of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol works. You provide, in accordance with paragraph 1.f.3, a full refund of any money paid for a work or a replacement copy, if a defect in the electronic work is discovered and reported to you within 90 days of receipt of the work. You comply with all other terms of this agreement for free distribution of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol works. 1.e.9. If you wish to charge a fee or distribute a Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work or group of works on different terms than are set forth in this agreement, you must obtain permission in writing from the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation, the manager of the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol trademark. Contact the Foundation as set forth in Section 3 below. 1.f1.f.1 Project Gutenberg volunteers and employees expend considerable effort to identify, do copyright research on, transcribe and proofread works not protected by U.S. copyright law in creating the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol collection. Despite these efforts, Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works, and the medium on which they may be stored, may contain defects such as, but not limited to, incomplete, inaccurate or corrupt data, transcription errors, a copyright or other intellectual property infringement, a defective or damaged disk or other medium, a computer virus, or computer codes that damage or cannot be read by your equipment. 1.f.2 Limited warranty, disclaimer of damages, except for the right of replacement or refund described in paragraph 1.f.3, the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation, the owner of the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol trademark, and any other party distributing a Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work under this agreement, disclaim all liability to you for damages, costs and expenses, including legal fees. You agree that you have no remedies for negligence, strict liability, breach of warranty or breach of contract except those provided in paragraph 1.f.3. You agree that the Foundation, the trademark owner, and any distributor under this agreement will not be liable to you for actual, direct, indirect, consequential, punitive or incidental damages even if you give notice of the possibility of such damage. 1.f.3 Limited right of replacement or refund. If you discover a defect in this electronic work within 90 days of receiving it, you can receive a refund of the money, if any, you paid for it by sending a written explanation to the person you received the work from. If you received the work on a physical medium, you must return the medium with your written explanation. The person or entity that provided you with the defective work may elect to provide a replacement copy in lieu of a refund. If you received the work electronically, the person or entity providing it to you may choose to give you a second opportunity to receive the work electronically in lieu of a refund. If the second copy is also defective, you may demand a refund in writing without further opportunities to fix the problem. 1.f.4 Except for the limited right of replacement or refund set forth in paragraph 1.f.3, this work is provided to you as is, with no other warranties of any kind, express or implied, including but not limited to warranties of merchantability or fitness for any purpose. 1.f.5 Some states do not allow disclaimers of certain implied warranties or the exclusion or limitation of certain types of damages. If any disclaimer or limitation set forth in this agreement violates the law of the state applicable to this agreement, the agreement shall be interpreted to make the maximum disclaimer or limitation permitted by the applicable state law. The invalidity or unenforceability of any provision of this agreement shall not void the remaining provisions. 1.f.6 Indemnity. You agree to indemnify and hold the foundation, the trademark owner, any agent or employee of the foundation, anyone providing copies of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works in accordance with this agreement, and any volunteers associated with the production, promotion and distribution of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works, harmless from all liability, costs and expenses, including legal fees, that arise directly or indirectly from any of the following which you do or cause to occur. A. Distribution of this or any Project Gutenberg trademark symbol work. B. Alteration, modification, or additions or deletions to any Project Gutenberg trademark symbol work, and C. Any defect you cause. Section 2. Information about the mission of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol. Project Gutenberg trademark symbol is synonymous with the free distribution of electronic works in formats readable by the widest variety of computers, including obsolete, old, middle-aged and new computers. It exists because of the efforts of hundreds of volunteers and donations from people in all walks of life. Volunteers and financial support to provide volunteers with the assistance they need are critical to reaching Project Gutenberg trademark symbol's goals and ensuring that the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol collection will remain freely available for generations to come. In 2001, the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation was created to provide a secure and permanent future for Project Gutenberg trademark symbol and future generations. To learn more about the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation and how your efforts and donations can help, see sections 3 and 4 and the Foundation information page at www.gutenberg.org. Section 3. Information about the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation. The Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation is a non-profit 501(c)(3) educational corporation organized under the laws of the state of Mississippi and granted tax-exempt status by the Internal Revenue Service. The Foundation's IN or Federal Tax Identification Number is 64-6221541. Contributions to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation are tax-deductible to the full extent permitted by U.S. federal laws and your state's laws. The Foundation's business office is located at 809 North 1500 West, Salt Lake City, UT 84116. 801-596-1887. Email contact links and up-to-date contact information can be found at the Foundation's website and official page at www.gutenberg.org/contact section 4. Information about donations to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation. Project Gutenberg trademark symbol depends upon and cannot survive without widespread public support and donations to carry out its mission of increasing the number of public domain and licensed works that can be freely distributed in machine-readable form accessible by the widest array of equipment including outdated equipment. Many small donations, $1 to $5,000, are particularly important to maintaining tax-exempt status with the IRS. The Foundation is committed to complying with the laws regulating charities and charitable donations in all 50 states of the United States. Compliance requirements are not uniform and it takes a considerable effort, much paperwork and many fees to meet and keep up with these requirements. We do not solicit donations in locations where we have not received written confirmation of compliance. To send donations or determine the status of compliance for any particular state, visit www.gutenberg.org/donate. While we cannot and do not solicit contributions from states where we have not met the solicitation requirements, we know of no prohibition against accepting unsolicited donations from donors in such states who approach us with offers to donate. International donations are gratefully accepted, but we cannot make any statements concerning tax treatment of donations received from outside the United States. U.S. laws alone swamp our small staff. Please check the Project Gutenberg web pages for current donation methods and addresses. Donations are accepted in a number of other ways including checks, online payments and credit card donations. To donate, please visit www.gutenberg.org/donate. Section 5. General information about Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works. Professor Michael S. Hart was the originator of the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol concept of a library of electronic works that could be freely shared with anyone. For 40 years, he produced and distributed Project Gutenberg trademark symbol ebooks with only a loose network of volunteer support. Project Gutenberg trademark symbol ebooks are often created from several printed editions, all of which are confirmed as not protected by copyright in the US unless a copyright notice is included. Thus, we do not necessarily keep ebooks in compliance with any particular paper edition. Most people start at our website, which has the main PG search facility, www.gutenberg.org. This website includes information about Project Gutenberg trademark symbol, including how to make donations to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation, how to help produce our new ebooks, and how to subscribe to our email newsletter to hear about new ebooks.